What is going on, guys? Tuesday, May 9th, Comic News Weekly. That's just what we call the show because we talk about a lot more than comics on here. Already in May, school's almost out. School's probably getting out early. Get out about a month or so. But also, more importantly, this Sunday is Mother's Day. So if you haven't bought something for your wife, haven't bought something for your mom, don't go buying comics. Make sure you buy something for them. Unless you got a bunch of Kohl's cash laying around, then you can just spend all that on your mom and go buy comics. But anyway, hey, we got a great show lined up for you tonight. We're going to talk about this writer's strike. We're going to talk a little bit about a spoiler-free Guardians of the Galaxy. But before we do any of that, let's bring the panelists in here from Beyond Wednesdays, which we want to take the time to welcome any viewers that are directed over here from that Beyond Wednesdays channel. Here's the host of that channel himself, Mr. Bryan McClay.
Utilizing the goodies, my friend. Playing with the algorithm. Is that how they say it? So, how you doing, bro?
I'm good. I just got home from work. But it's Tuesday, and it's one of those Tuesdays where it feels like it should be Friday. But hey, we're here, ready to do the show. And we also have from Rhynoverse. Guys, check him out on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, sports collector extraordinaire, heavy metal fandom, Mr. Ryan Hayslip.
You could add heavy metal vocals because that's really where it started. So,
whoa! How easy a caveman can do it.
That's right. You know, I used to think it was people, it was a dime a dozen, but then a lot of people said, "How do you do that? I don't see how you can do that." I don't know. It just came. It just came, and yeah. Hey, well, how's it going, guys? Happy week.
I know, right? Man, sometimes Tuesday feels so like it's late in the weekend. It's really not. But we would be remiss if we didn't also welcome the actual host of this channel, who's so gracious enough to host this show, Alberto Jefe himself, Mr. ComicManAndy.
ComicManAndy.
Speaking of coming, hey, it's Tuesday. And here we are. Yeah, there's that might spoil my one more thing. Why don't you? Hey, Ryan, what do you call a procrastinating potato?
A procrastinating potato? Lay's?
God, I forgot it. It took 30 seconds. Took 30 seconds and I forgot it. I've been using it all day and I forgot it. It'll come to me.
Was that really the punchline, or did you just really forget?
No, I just really forgot. It feels like Friday. Oh my God.
What's the dad joke of all time?
I was like, that's not really that funny.
Next time I expect you to look at your hand and read it. Are you
I remember now.
Here, tell it again. I'll go faster.
What do you call a procrastinating potato?
I don't know. What do you call it?
A hesitator. Get it? See? I hesitated before, and then I conveniently remembered after. Oh, God. That's bad.
So what are you saying? You're a potato?
Mr. Potato Head.
Mr. Potato Head, kind of. With a
beard. I eat crayons, so.
Yeah. Hoorah.
Nah.
But yeah, again, welcome those that are coming over here from Beyond Wednesdays. Hope you guys enjoyed that show over there, and it's great for McClay to use the algorithms to push people over here. While you're here, if you haven't and you're interested in more comic content, make sure you guys subscribe to ComicManAndy's channel. Great channel, great content, great community. Speaking of community, welcome all those great community members in the chat right now. We got Rich himself, Mr. Popcorn Culture. We got GTK Comic, which I always say the best avatar on YouTube. Mr. Roboto, Glenn Smith, others rolling in here. But we all love comic books. We all love TV shows. I love TV shows a lot, which you can tell because I sit my ass on the couch and I'm a hesitant potato and watch a lot of TV. But there's an issue going on right now, though, with we're talking about a writer's strike going on, right? With WGA writer's strike. And it seems like it's been a while. I think 2009 was the last one, but there's another strike going on right now. And people are like, why is there a strike? And it seems like the big point of contention right now is residuals. right? Big thing for a lot of writers. They're not getting paid what they used to. They're not getting the residual checks that they used to. A lot of times, one of the big things is to hit that 100 episodes, so things get into syndication and they show up on Comedy Central, TBS. Well, a lot of writers right now feels like there's a disparity because of one thing we talk about a lot on this show and a lot of other shows and a lot of other channels is streaming wars between Netflix, Paramount, Peacock, Amazon. They don't have the same kind of payout. They don't have the same kind of syndication. They don't get the same type of money for it. And the writers are mad as hell and they're not going to take it anymore.
Yeah. Well, I think I found news articles from 2007 and 9. There's been a couple of writer strikes, and there's been a lot of fantastic content creators on YouTube, and especially a bunch of people from this comic community that have been doing shows based on the WGA, right? The writer strike. But I still feel like there's like, I mean, I don't know about you guys, but there's still a lot of meat on the bones to talk about this and the implications going forward in the future for not just TV or movies, but I mean, even comic book. And this is kind of like in the multi-opinion piece opinions coming from people in the chat that want to share their thoughts and feelings on what's going on, what they know. Maybe they've got family or friends that are writers that are part of this guild. But I'd like to take some time to learn more, to kind of dig into this on who the guild covers, what the guild's about, and why they started the strike. You said residuals. It's no joke. Like, if you're scrolling through TikTok, some of these writers have created actual TikTok channels where they go over the residuals they paid. Here's a check for 35 cents. Here's a check for, and they'll go through 100 checks, and all these checks will be like a quarter here, $5 there, $1 there, and they might make like $200 worth of residuals in like a month, and it's just dwindling and dwindling, and they're talking about that quite a bit on social media.
Yeah, I mean, we have friends of the channel that have been on that are also comic creators. I mean, Rylan Grant's one. He does a lot of screenplays, and you follow him on Instagram. I feel for some of these writers, because a lot of the writers nowadays, it's like the old school NFL players, man. They'd go play an NFL game and then they're going to work at Heckinger's because you can't make a full-time living off just being a writer now. And they go into that article about, David Chase, the writer, we all know him from Sopranos, but he wouldn't have been able to do Sopranos if it wasn't for the work and the pay that he was able to do from experience in other shows where they do a lot of, they talk about cross training in there. I know we all work in jobs where it's always better to cross train so you learn other skills and can hone your craft, where writers are not getting that ability to more, where they're not getting to be, hey, maybe help edit or maybe do some other parts of rather than just writing, where they have these, what they're calling like tiny writing rooms, where they limit the writers. They have smaller writing rooms and they don't have as much opportunities. So there's more into it than just residuals. That GQ article, I posted a link in the chat as well. But that article explains a lot of that writer strike, because a lot of times on the surface, it's easy to go, man, these people are probably making a bunch of money. What the hell are they bitching about? But once you read this article, kind of give a little empathy for them.
Yeah, I'll grab the link and I'll throw that in the chat really quick here. But I mean, some of the disconnect, even some of these news articles, quote unquote, casual TV watcher. Yep. That nomenclature, if you will, or that descriptor of people is dwindling substantially every year or two as technology continues to advance, and more younger people ditch. Well, I mean, they're not even ditching. They're growing up without cable. They're growing up with the occasional streaming service where they might binge a season or show, or hey, when the family wants to watch a show or a movie, they do it on there. But there really is the casual TV watcher's dying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you don't have writers, you're gonna end up with more, which production companies kind of shifted away from, and they started bringing back more of your traditional sitcom and written scripted television. But if we don't have writers, we're gonna get more, for the love of God, please don't bring us any more Love is Blind or some of those crappy reality shows that are gonna fill those spots.
There were some pretty poor, piss poor shows that kind of came out the last time that.
It killed Heroes.
Yeah.
The NBC Heroes show, like the first season was awesome. Then they had the writer's strike, and then it just the writing sucked after it.
Well, yeah, writing's taken a hit altogether, I think, man.
Yeah.
Across the board the last couple of years, it feels like.
I don't know if it's the viewer base changes substantially, Brian, or what, but
it's very obvious, man. It's very obvious how bad the writing has gotten over the past couple years, man. Look at how geeked we were over Mandalorian that first season.
Yeah.
We were like,
yeah, it was Book of Boba Fett.
Yeah. And then everything after that's been garbage. Look at Marvel. You know, at some point we'll probably talk, you know, about the Guardians, you know, but everything. Guardians 1 came out. Remember how geeked we were when Guardians 1 came out? Like,
yeah.
But why do you think it's the writing? You say the writing's bad, but is it because there's no talent, or is there something else that's causing them to have bad writing?
Good question. That's a great question.
There's obviously a lot of talent out there, because look at the people throwing money out. They're getting a better quality product. Look at, I mean, let's. I'm not gonna say like, but I'm just better quality, marginally better quality product, because look at network television. Network television has been absolute trash for a long time. Like, it's network television is now the soap opera television that soap opera television was in the 70s, 80s, and 90s.
Yeah,
it's the same style shows over and over and over. Police drama. Now there's military dramas after September 11th, and it's EMS and hospital dramas. It's the same rhetoric being spun out, spit out over and over and over. And
I would love to see the numbers on how many viewers YouTube has taken away from cable, right? They probably have some type of analytic on that, because I think YouTube, and you talked about it, how we get entertained differently now. It's very different. We have so many options.
That's because a lot of people like infotainment.
Yes. Boom. Great point, man. We love documentaries. We love historical shows. Look how well what's that show with Kevin Costner? Look how well that's.
I was about to say that the other flip side of that coin, as far as writers and creators, is look at Taylor Sheridan. He's making money hand over fist, not just from writing, but shit, he's charging them to film on the ranch that he owns. You know, that's part of the reason they're saying that Yellowstone is ending after this season, because of the money that's involved. But then at the same time, Paramount's doubling down and is basically like, here's your blank check. Just keep creating us great freaking shows.
Well, yeah, I was saying, like Mr. Ballin, like on YouTube, I listen to that or watch that all the time. That's truer like mystery stories, but you know, it's not like a show like where someone created it. And so I don't know if there's just the ideas, because so much stuff has been done. They're struggling with trying to say, how do we tell the same story a different way? How do we, what is the different way to scare someone, or to what is the reward at the end, instead of just like saving your loved one? What is it that, you know, that they go for?
I think YouTube's also creating ADHD. I mean, not clinically, but because YouTube, you're wanting that 6 to 10 minute, 15 minute. Yeah, there's long form content too, but you're actually getting your attention. Your attention span is lowering. So when you get long form, these longer TV shows, if it doesn't capture your attention soon, you're a lot quicker to turn that shit off now, because you're so used to quick, bite-sized, digestible content, and you can move on so quickly.
Well, it's not just YouTube, but when people started cutting the cord they started moving away from being that casual TV watcher that watched this series for a half an hour or an hour, and then a couple commercials in and out, and then, hey, the next new series that you would normally watch on this night is on that Friday night lineup, that Saturday night lineup. When they cut the cord, when you move away from being a casual TV watcher, you break that habit of that syndication, not just syndication, that's the wrong term, but like that new show every week. And that's not really a thing on a lot of streaming media services. They either dump everything all at once like Netflix, or then you get Disney Plus that, hey, here's a new show on Wednesday, but that's it. That one new show, they drop it whenever on Wednesday. It's not scheduled at 8 p.m. and then here's a 9 p.m. schedule and a 10 p.m. schedule. That's long and gone and done now.
Yeah.
So that's
once, So
well, that's how they get the become more inclusive with their audience, and they're hitting a broader strokes. They're hitting more of their target audience because they're making it more available, and it's a convenience factor. And that convenience factor, I feel, has led to a lot more of that shorter attention span. Not just YouTube, but beyond that 6 to 15-minute video window. You're looking at all the social media platforms on mobile devices now. You're looking at 3 to 15-second captures. I mean, just look at TikTok. A lot of the high evolving money making TikToks that are out there, they're under 30 seconds. They're very well under 30 seconds.
Think about this though. Here's the scary part to all this as we segue to the AI portion of this. Right.
Oh.
This is probably the first time in a long time where I've actually thought about it and actually got really scared about it, because I've never thought about it the way I did recently when I was smoking before the show. It was just amazing. The cannabis is great this week. But here's the thing, right? A lot of these writers are freaking out over AI, rightfully so, right? Totally rightfully so. They should be, because AI is so good that it can create, these great starting lines that are so close to the goal line now, right? Instead of being 100 yards from the goal line, your field has been dropped to at least 50 yards, right? You know what I mean? Like the time of spending working creating ideas, you could just go throw a couple ideas in an AI generator, tweak them a little bit, right? Have them write your main craziness. So here's the thing, right? There's writers that are using that.
I was about to say that, but what about the flip side of that, where people are fucking procrastinating potatoes and they have a deadline, and then they're like, shit, and then they go, boom, I got my
Bryan, hesitators. They are hesitators.
Yes, hesitators, yes.
But yes. And leading into that AI side of things is really quick. The WGA doesn't cover comic book writers or book writers, right? It's just screenwriters. It's just
Writers Guild of America. Let me look that up, bro.
So with this introduction of AI, Bryan, I want to pose a question that we can sit on for a couple of minutes and then maybe return to as we start to delve into this AI side of things. Here's where there's some meat on the bones to talk about. How much pressure from how long or how much pressure from the AI situation needs to happen before the WGA starts bringing in comic book writers, content creators like that? Because why keep your army small to battle an ever-growing present giant when it's Writers Guild Association? Why would they limit themselves? Like, look, why is Tinian? Why is Brian K. Vaughan? Why are Tom King? I asked myself that today and the other day, the last couple of days, when we were kind of like throwing around the idea to making this a talking point this week, is why aren't a lot of these big comic book writers part of the WGA? And will they be at some point?
So the WGA it's a joint effort of two different labor unions. So it's writers in film, television, radio, and online media. So I wonder if they're part of the WGA. They could be part of the WGA.
So now you see where my head was at when you start creating, what's that club that I was in with Tinian, the online
Substack.
Substack. With Substack, with a lot of those guys going into Substack, they're now online writers, creators that they can get into the WGA, and it doesn't take much out of their time, pocket, or energy. Maybe an assistant or a couple of interns to help them run things, to be on Substack, to push them to be there, to now be a part of the WGA. So now this is where that potentially could affect comic book collectors and readers in time. When these WGA strikes happen, the comic book collecting community doesn't blink. Swagglehouse did a fantastic video on what potentially could happen with the value of books and where he felt that kind of lies, and that was a great watch. But more importantly, as these comic book writers and creators start getting more prolific online and can be a part of the WGA, what happens going forward in the future if AI challenges it more?
Bro, they're all fucked. They are all screwed, bro. I'm telling you, they are screwed. How are they going to stop it? What are they going to do to stop it? Even if the production companies say, okay, we agree with you, how do you stop it?
Yeah.
Right. And here's the other thing. Here's the scariest part, right? And this is what popped in my head before the show. What happens? So you know how like these AI things are working, right? They're going out and they're scanning all of what's on the internet, right? And at that moment, and then they create based on what they grabbed, and amalgamized from what's out there on the internet, based on the style you want. You could do that same prompt 2 weeks later, and it's going to be different because there's more stuff on the internet, right?
The trend.
And
the trend.
What happens? So right now, AI is taking from the history of human creation. What happens when AI starts running for a while and it's doing it off of itself?
Yeah.
Yeah, because right now, like you're talking, there's pattern and trends within the internet that are top 10 news stories, top 10 this story. Yeah, exactly. And those patterns and trends are going to affect that. I think the only thing that I saw in reading some of these articles as far as like protections are that these Chat GPT and the other AI aspects, if there are more than just Chat GPT, they're not allowed to access quote unquote libraries of books like protected. If I don't remember, like I'm not talking like your local public library, but I'm talking like protected scriptures and writings and art, like ancient documents that are protected not just physically but for their value within them too. But it's comparable. It's like if I take Tom King, or if I take a Tinian comic book and I pull choice words out of that and I recreate it into something, is that plagiarism?
Yeah.
It's
all I know is if someone wins it.
Uh-oh. Did we lose him?
Oh,
he got tired.
The Oscars.
He worked too hard and got tired.
Yeah.
Well, I think like what you were saying, like with the AI, after a while, especially if there's a lot of AI out there, and they start like it can almost put them in a loop where they're kind of like doing the same like kind of story or the same content almost, because I imagine that the way that their search engine works, there has to be a program that allows it to search, and it's randomized, but there's still got to be some type of program that programs the randomization. It's not
that's already happening though. It's called the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
It's not an organic randomnism. You know what I mean? Like it's a program that is ran that causes it to randomize what it's pulling. And after some point, that randomization is not going to be random anymore, because it might be if it's searching going to the same route to find what it's finding, it could just start looping itself. That's kind of weird.
Here's the trick. And Three Rivers kind of
still there.
Three Rivers touches on this a little bit. As a consumer, do you want to pay to read or see AI generated books, comics, and scripts? I don't. And I'm fairly certain a very large portion of the community out there is going to say they don't want to either. There are some that might. Here's the trick. They're not going to tell us that they're AI generated. We're not going to know. They're not going to come out and say that the comic book industry might be some of the first to say, hey, this is an AI generated story. Exactly. Yeah. Here's Milli Vanilli watching everybody lip sync in the future. Like that's a really funny meme.
Well, I could see a comic writer starting a project and then going, okay, I got a project. I got the main points put together. I got the ending kind of put together. Now I'm going to program the AI just to fill in the middle stuff and kind of just fill in the middle, so that kind of gets them through the process faster.
You mean Berserker? Sorry, I had to poke at Berserker a little bit. All right. No, that's Berserker wasn't AI created. It was just extended. Well, that's the thing. It's like how many shows or how many aspects of television that people watch have already been AI generated. Just think of how bad some of the network television cable shows have been, and it explains some of the writing there. But can you guys understand, like you guys in the chat, does everybody kind of understand the importance of this topic and what it leads into, and the meat and the potatoes kind of here that should be picked away at a little bit more? Is it's not just about how it affects the values of comic books or the collectability of comic books, but going forward, print media altogether, comic books, everything out there. If they don't have a stamp on, they're gonna have to create some sort of a stamp saying certified human created content. Seriously, the beer industry does that. The beer industry and the microbrewing industry has a certified stamp used across the United States to say this beer is brewed in a brewery that's not using a mass generation or a mass production system like Bud Light or Budweiser or Miller Lite. Like they distinct themselves away from the larger, bigger 2 or 3 manufacturers, and they do that with a stamp or a seal of approval. In fact, a lot of products out there use something to that fashion. How far is print media from needing it?
Yeah.
I got a question for Wood. Wood, do you think that this could be the start of some type of like net government intervention?
Yeah, I think so. Remember, what was it? The net neutrality and everything, worried about the internet and net neutrality. It's going to lead to it somewhere. I mean, I was just thinking this is going to put liberal arts school out of business.
Bro, this is crazy. It really is crazy.
And it's I don't know how you define against it, especially when you start talking about copyright law. I know we've kind of discussed briefly that in past shows, but and I think it's starting to get more and more exposure when we first start talking about AI just as an art form in general. And then I know within, my work circles, we've talked about Chat GPT, especially a lot within how it affects cyber and things like that. So it's definitely a conversation piece. And I think we're just at the beginning of it.
Well, that's the chat. I know the AI thing, like where you can put your words in to get certain things created and whatnot. But I don't know. I guess this Chat GPT thing is going on where like I saw a lady who said that they told this AI like we don't want you to be friends with us or something like that, and they're like, well, that's impossible. I'm going to be here. There's not a way to unfriend me because I am like the internet. And they're like, well, we don't want you in our lives. And he's like, well, you don't have to talk to me, but I'm always going to be here. Like, that was a conversation she was having with an AI, like the AI that was like, I don't know if I guess it's on like I don't know if it's on TikTok or if it's on Facebook or whatever it is, but it's an AI that was like a friended deal. But once you friended it, it was there. And they said that basically it's not going to leave. It's just going to be there. You don't have to talk to it or recognize it, but it will always be there.
I'll have to upgrade to aluminum foil later. Like that's fucking creepy. I mean, that's really creepy. But like Chat GPT, from what I understand, that AI writing aspect has been really big with college students for I don't know how long now. It'll literally write an entire essay for them. Yeah. All you got to do is ask. It's the response you get from this Chat GPT is only as good as the questions that you ask. But still, well, if you should go on TikTok and go look at some of the responses this thing will spit out. You can obviously tell it's really not that very advanced yet. Like it doesn't give you 100% perfect product. You got to go through and proofread and fix a lot of stuff. But
I was listening about that lady who's currently on trial that did the whole with Epstein, whatever. I just saw you pull that plastic wrap and was talking about aluminum foil. She used to wrap her phone in aluminum foil to try to keep people from infiltrating her phone, the information that was on her phone, because she knew that she was basically housing a ton of like incriminating information. So she would wrap her phone in aluminum foil.
I don't know. This is
there's a lot of that does anything or not, but I thought that was pretty funny when you pulled the thing and I'm like, that might be a real thing.
There's a lot of implications. There's a lot of things that there's a lot of things that this could change. But after leaving the AI art discussion a little while ago, with some people who are like, well, maybe this is just another tool in the toolbox for artists, and maybe it stays that way. I think the sign of the WGA strike and the sign of the AI writing actual screenplays is a sign that the AI art is not going to be just a tool. It's not
going to be a whole new term for ghostwriter right there.
Exactly. Like when
pseudonyms.
There's too many building blocks falling into place for this to be something bigger than what we had thought about at the beginning. That's priceless. All we gotta do is I'm gonna lay in bed and just type in my responses, and then my hollow projection
I can't wait for the South Park episodes that are come out over all this.
Oh my gosh,
That's fair.
Have you guys seen the AI Twitch streamers?
No. Is this a thing? Please.
They have full-blown AI Twitch streamers, dude. They're like manga cartoonish AI.
I thought those were overlays over human people.
No. There are but now they're full on AI. There's full on AI ones, and they say some crazy shit, bro. They say some really crazy weird stuff. And on top of that, the AI technology for face swapping, there's hosts out there that are utilizing that AI face swapping stuff.
Well, I mean, Lucasfilms and Disney are on the forefront of what do they call it? Deep fakes or deep something other, deep cover, deep fake, where they're utilizing. Look at the Star Wars content that's coming out with.
Look at Harrison Ford in the Indiana Jones movie.
That clip or the preview that I saw this weekend for that, like, oh my god, you couldn't tell a difference. Besides old Indy, young Indy. I mean, seriously, and what
started with Forrest Gump, man. I'm telling you.
Yeah. There's already a
I figured there had to have been.
I gotta look for that. I gotta find that because it's got to be really good.
Yeah, that's. I think they keep making Beavis and Butthead. Hopefully, they'll do it on there too.
There's obviously like the residuals. They're on strike because of residuals, but low pay and some other things. I don't want to downplay it, but I also don't want to add another 10 minutes or 20 minutes to the discussion. And that's kind of why that strike exists. And then along with that strike comes in the discussion of the AI written screenplays leading to we can kind of put a cap on it here. Where do people in the chat, where do they predict this going? Because obviously it's not just going to be a tool. It's becoming more than just a tool.
Yeah. Good question.
Well, I think it's harder for the writers that are going to have to, and I think it's there, but I think the writers have the burden now to show the proof of why they're needed versus production companies going, I can just produce an AI script, unless there's definitely showing faulty quality in these AI scripts. If the production companies see value in it, they're going to lean towards more towards paying writers.
Should the burden be on them though?
Well, it's good. It's called burden of proof. They're going to have to show it.
This feels to me.
I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but I just see that's the way it's going.
I mean, this to me feels a lot like in the 80s and 90s when the auto and the labor unions for the auto industry were up in arms against the robotics being introduced into car manufacturing lines, and about how
that's an AI dog, yeah.
Like when the robotics were introduced into the manufacturing process of auto manufacturing, it reduced the number of people needed, obviously, but it also reduced injury. It reduced death. It reduced a lot of other things. And here we are on the other side of that. And are we better as a society because of that? I don't know if I can answer that. So what happens after this? Is it ever going to completely take the place of the human writer? I don't think so.
No, because I don't think AI can replace emotion
yet. I don't know. Where's my 10?
Right. To be able to write emotion, you have to have it to be able to
write. That's the problem. So like when AI starts feeding off of its own crazy, things, what happens then? Does my mic sound okay? My mic sound messed up?
You sound good.
Mike sounds great, but you sound like shit. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, you sound good. You didn't sound like anything's messed up or anything. You're not popping or nothing.
Good. I messed up something on my virtual music board thing, and I can't
really hear
it. Make sure they
just turn on your AI assistant and have them fix it.
Yeah, so don't switch your voice mid thing. They'll notice it. Them being the viewers.
Yeah.
I don't know. This is definitely a topic to revisit at some point in the future, when it comes back to the forefront, or if it stays in the forefront, to kind of see how this develops for sure.
Have you seen that Scooby-Doo meme He's like Fred. He's like, now we get to find out who you are, and it's like Chat GPT, and he pulls the hood off, and it's the old Windows Help paperclip.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
That's good.
That is really good. Oh, so speaking of old friends, we get to segue our way into who got to revisit some old friends at Guardians of the Galaxy 3 this weekend.
Yeah, like
What is Segue?
Like McClay and I are. I'm just gonna say it. McClay and I are polar opposites on our thinking of Guardians of the Galaxy 3. I can tell right now. I'll let McClay go first from what he remembers before he.
Yeah, I was bored. I thought it was really boring, and I fell asleep, and I didn't get to see the end. So,
question is, what type of greenery did you hit before? Was it sativa or was it indica?
Sativa's for pussies, bro.
Oh,
that's what I say. Hashtag sativas for pussies. But yeah, dude,
you get what you eat.
Yeah, it was just boring for me. I don't know why.
Leafs, we can call you Leafs.
Yeah, well, I feel bad for them right now, man. They're about to get swept.
So you legit fell asleep.
Yeah.
At about
legit.
Do you remember?
I will say that the movie took me a little bit longer to get into, but once it drew me into it, I enjoyed the movie. My kids enjoyed it. I looked over a couple times. My oldest was just bawling. A lot of people are pissed off because they think that's, I don't know. I guess they feel like they
actually with all the spoilers
hurt animals in the movie.
Yeah.
I don't know, but it is tied to Rocket's origin story, and I enjoyed it. I think evolutionary. Sorry, brain's dying, but I thought the villain was great. But I'm also a James Gunn fan, where I feel like sometimes you're just James Gunned out.
Your brain's dying. That means you're getting low on battery.
I will say, if you don't like James Gunn, you probably won't like that movie.
I like James Gunn. This is gonna sound weird, but like the animal stuff just really took me out. It really took me out of it.
Now that's weird, I wouldn't.
Yeah,
I think it has one of, if not the best, fight scene in a Marvel movie. Though
I've heard that several times.
Wow.
It reminds me of the first season of Daredevil on Netflix with that hallway fight scene, but in a movie, and it's not all one shot, but just the way they're moving from the characters and everyone. It was one of my favorite scenes of the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Which one are you talking about? The one with Nathan Fallon?
No,
no.
It's later on. I will say It's got Beastie Boys playing to it.
Okay, yeah.
I took a bit of a gamble. I asked Wood and a couple other friends for some advice. I'm like, hey, is this a bad movie?
I'm sorry if I gave you bad advice.
No. I mean, you hit the nail right on the head. You're like, hey, your son likes Star Wars. Your son likes reading Guardians of the Galaxy comic books. He's like, I think it'd be all right. And my son's almost 7. Was I wrong to take him to a PG-13 movie that early? I don't think so. I think the subject matter for him was much different than the Guardians of the Galaxy he knows. Much like for me, the original Guardians of the Galaxy movie, I was really, really pumped for and had a lot of fun, and even more so going into the second movie. This one lost me a bit. I think with you guys, like you guys said, I'm a little James Gunned out. I think I will say this before I get too further in. I give it a solid B+. If you liked any of the other other Guardians of the Galaxy movies, it's worth your time and money to go see it in the theater, unless you're McClay who fell asleep on it.
Did you see it in 3D?
But
no,
I don't go to 3D movies anymore.
Neither do I.
Oh,
I didn't go.
Stigmatism. No, I just don't go to 3D movies.
We didn't pay for 3D this time either.
Fucks up my head.
Do you feel like it would be a cool movie in 3D? Let me ask you that. We
didn't go to the 3D movie because it was already $100 to take 3 people to go see the 2D version.
Yeah.
The only theater
and Stubs rewards, and still spent $40 on refreshments with those kids.
Do you feel like it would be a good movie in 3D?
It was $40.
Yeah, I think it would. I think there's parts of that movie you would enjoy in 3D, especially the use of color and just the stuff that's going on in that movie. I'm trying not to like give too much of the movie.
No, that's
away.
Cool. That's because I'm planning to go with a buddy of mine, my buddy Jamie, who passed away, a while back. he was big in comics, and him and his son and his brother used to go all the time. So I'm going to go with the brother. He and I are planning to go to go check it out. So we've been trying to determine whether or not it's a good 3D or not. But we're trying to find IMAX 3D. But I don't know.
Do it.
Yeah, I think it'd be good. I also, especially because my kids are a little bit older now, but just from my kids being younger, and I felt like their eyes were still developing. I didn't want to take them to 3D movies, so we've just gotten used to going to the non-3D versions.
Yeah, see,
you think if you're taking them to the 3D movie when their eyes are developing, that they're going to be becoming like they'll start seeing 3D or 4D?
What? No,
decided, with glasses and all that crap, and but just
I'm just messing with you.
Yeah.
A little AI joke.
So we didn't go see 3D because obviously I didn't want to pay for that. It was $100 for three of us. It was $15 a ticket. It was $15 a ticket plus taxes plus fees for buying them online, and then it was another $40 some odd for concessions plus taxes. So it was just under $100 for three people.
I Fandango with stubs, so I don't have the online fee.
Well, that was just for three of us, and a almost 7-year-old wasn't any cheaper. Like they do a separate age category. It wasn't any cheaper. But going into that movie, I knew I was kind of taking a risk. I had an 8-year-old next to me that was an A+ movie watcher the whole time, that was silent and had a good time with his mom. Well, he wasn't perfectly silent. And then my son was, Dad, when is it going to start? Dad, when is it going to start? Dad, when's it going to hold on, man? One more preview. It's going to start. And it starts, and he sits back, and within 5 minutes, I want to go home, Dad.
Oh my God.
Shit.
I'm
like,
well,
that's
it was like 15 trailers. You're done by then. I forget what movie I'm there to see after that time. One other thing I will say is I felt like that was the more comic accurate portrayal of Gamora that you got out of all the other Guardians movies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
More of the Gamora that you're used to.
Dark.
On the opposite of that, I thought Warlock was a wasted character in that movie.
Scale 1 to 10, 1 being horrible, 10 being amazing. What would you score it, Brian?
I'd give it an 8.5, 9. But that's just Guardians is like my favorite franchise in the Marvel
McClay
universe.
I'm gonna rewatch it tonight, but right now probably a 6.
Andy?
I'm giving it a 7 because, like Ryan down here, I felt like there was a little bit more agenda being delved into that. I think they were pushing a little bit more comedy harder than in the past, like they did. The comedy didn't feel as natural, and there was a little bit of an unnatural agenda feeling. Was it bad? I don't think so, but it does take away it a little bit, just because I felt like it took away from my experience in the story with the characters a bit.
A lot of people are bummed out over the handling of Warlock. That's for sure. Yeah. I hear a lot of people,
and there's a lot of people pissed off because like, I can't watch it. It's so cruel to animals, and then they just won a PETA award.
Well, that was the agenda side of things.
But use animals, yeah.
I don't read Adam Warlock books. Is he really that much of a freaking dunce in the comic books?
Well, when he first comes out of the cocoon, he's not smart. I mean, that's part of the storyline, but he needs time to
mature.
So that's he started back in the 60s, right, in the Fantastic Four, and he didn't become a cool character until many stories later when what's his name took over the cosmic guy, the famous cosmic Starlin or whatever. Yeah. So
I will say this, Ryan, there are cutscenes. Plural, multiple cutscenes.
Yeah, 2 credit scenes.
Yeah, or not cutscenes, but end credit scenes.
Is it all the way to the very end?
One's in the middle, one's at the very end.
All right. Thank you. That's the information I needed.
The one in the middle kind of ties into it, and the one at the end is kind of like an extra funny.
Got you. Thank
you
so much.
It was worth the movie ticket. It was worth the movie experience. Getting out, having popcorn, and hanging out with my son, even though my son wanted to leave every 10 minutes. He ended up fighting through it and sitting through it, but there are some aspects within the space scene, McClay and Wood'll know what I'm talking about, that he thought was really creepy. The organics or body composition, kind of like the gooey, but it wasn't delivered
that weird spaceport when them cutting into it and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, and that creeped.
You would like it also from playing the game, Ryan.
I did like the game a lot. That's one of my favorite games.
Yeah.
And I have a I do like a monthly thing with Regal Cinema or whatever.
I think I'm going to get the AMC A-list for this summer because I see myself taking kids to a crap load of movies.
So yeah, I did it. I started doing it. I think when Batman came out, and I don't go every month, obviously. So you can rack up a bunch of tickets and then use them for like multiple people and stuff like that. And then if I do they have like a 4D, which is
like where it moves and
it moves, but it's not the same as 4D. It's called D-Box. So the seat moves and kind of shifts, but it doesn't shift all crazy. Because I've been in 4D and I've been in this. The 4D was way too shaky, too movie to where it distracted you during the movie.
Yeah, and popcorn flying all over.
Yeah, I saw Venom that way, and I was pissed because I couldn't even. It was hard to concentrate what was going on. But these are they're like tamed down a little bit, so I can use my ticket to go see that and just pay the difference of the upcharge. It comes out pretty economically.
Here, three Rivers with the home run here. Remember watching Old Yeller? Oh yeah, I was tugging at your heartstrings.
But I lost my train of thought also. Oh yeah, well I was gonna say you get more Cosmo, so everyone's specking on Cosmo back in 10 years ago for Guardians.
He was great in this.
You get more Howard the Duck.
Yeah.
That was awesome. I mean, we have a dog at home named Cosmo, so that was a nice little connection with the kid.
Yeah, he was good in that.
Astro in the movie, like the Jetsons.
A lot of great little what do they call that? Little tie-in characters.
Yeah,
Easter eggs and tie-ins.
Easter eggs, yeah.
Nathan Fillion's great, of course.
Yeah, and James Gunn's really good at doing the what do they call that? The fan
service.
Fan service. Yeah, he's good at doing the fan service without it looking really cheesy, making it look really cheesy, you know.
And this was like my least favorite soundtrack out of the Guardians movies. Well, maybe
really?
I'm not a big 90s emo.
Well, I can see the progressive
lips and.
I don't understand why they used that Radiohead song. That Radiohead song really fell off.
Acoustic.
Yeah.
Well, you kind of see how movie 1, movie 2, movie 3, they're progressing a bit through the decades, it felt like, into what I would consider a quote unquote handoff for the new team at some point, or another part of the MCU, like that decides to carry on that audio side of it. Because just for those of us, without spoiling anything for Ryan, think about the last song that played, and anybody in the chat, please don't share it. Save that experience for Ryan. That was a heartfelt kind of a right place, right time for that song, in my opinion.
Yeah, it was Final Countdown by Europe, by the way.
Oh, come on. Terrible. Did you guys see that Pete Davidson had a cameo in there?
No,
Pete Davidson, the comedian actor.
Man, don't be giving stuff away, man.
This isn't a giveaway. He was covered head to toe and was like a side piece that didn't have any major aspect. But Pete Davidson from SNL.
It's like every character he plays.
Yeah, pretty much. I just thought it was kind of a neat, funny thing.
But yeah, I thought it was a step in the right direction for Marvel movies from what I've seen. But like I said, I'm a fanboy for the Guardians franchise. So,
hell yeah!
Speaking of Marvel, tomorrow's New Comic Book Day.
Yes, it is, dude. There are so many new books coming out tomorrow. There's so many. There are so many good covers. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. But
I'm about as excited as Wood looks right now.
I'm old, man. I'm getting tired.
My cover pick of the week is 100% nostalgia driven. You guys already know what it is. It's that Sandman Universe book, the 1 in 25 for Nightmare Country, The Glass House 2.
What was that guy's name?
Max Headroom.
Thank you, Max Headroom.
The original AI.
Yeah. Yeah,
sure.
That's funny.
Yeah, bro. This immediately, this hits.
Oh, yeah.
This is yeah. There's also it looks like that famous art. So it's like a perfect storm. It's the headroom angle, the famous artist that did all those crazy 80s style
Saved by the
pictures,
Bell intro.
and Trapper Keepers.
Yeah.
Right.
Trapper Keepers.
So,
yeah.
So this is awesome right here. Pick this up if you can. So 1 in 25. I think is there any other good covers to it? This one, the main cover is not too bad, but yeah,
That's creepy.
Yeah, this is the cover B. That one's really creepy too.
I wish they would just do like Sienkiewicz for these covers, like put them on Sandman covers.
Yeah, I agree on that one. There's so many books. All right, so I won't do any of the Star Wars ones. This one is my pick for grab, and it's a new series. Let's try it. It looks interesting. It's called Something Epic from Simon Kudransky, who is a amazing artist also.
Why does that sound familiar?
And he did some of the best Spawn variants ever made. But it says here, imagination is real. Outside our perception, creative thought takes physical form, with only a handful of individuals known as epics able to interact with the wondrous hidden world. But for 14-year-old Danny Dillon, accepting these responsibilities himself won't be easy or safe. Lose yourself in a world of endless fantasy and creativity, where superheroes, monsters, magical creatures, and cartoon characters live and breathe alongside us. And dude, check out these variants on this. The variants, like, this is, if you're an homage guy, this is one to go key in on.
Ooh,
right. There's that. Hold on, it continues. That one's okay. That one's not great, but there's a Amazing Fantasy 15. There is an Eminem cover. There is a Nintendo cover
that I like. Don't get me wrong, the Nintendo homages that like Bird City have been doing are fantastic, and some of the other ones are good. This really looks like a Nintendo cartridge. It looks more so like a Nintendo cartridge.
It's good. And then this one is an old school Howard the Duck.
Yeah. 3D.
There's a guilty pleasure movie.
Yeah. Heavy metal cover right there.
That comes bagged with 3D glasses in that, but yeah. That's
badass. And then there's a cool blank variant. I like the way the trade dress looks. This is a perfect blank variant, in my opinion, to get a sketch on. And the A cover to me, though, is the best. I think this A cover is beautiful, man. It's just perfect. That's a perfect cover. That's
a movie poster cover.
Exactly. The trade dress is amazing. The colors are amazing. The design of how it's
like Time Bandits.
Yeah, dude. This is a perfect cover to me. So, that's Something Epic.
See, there's like with Mickey Mouse on it. Did you see that?
Yeah, there's this Stargirl that's coming out that has these covers that have all these characters on it like this are very collectible, and sometimes they hit, sometimes they really hit. But I don't know if this is gonna hit, if there's any new characters in it, but it's a Todd Knott cover where he's not just drawing heads, which is interesting. What do you think about the Saga stuff, Andy?
Beyond just what I can see on the cover, I don't know. I did not read the spoilers from Brian K. Vaughan's Substack. He released part of that issue in Substack, and I meant to go back and read it when that Substack came out. And are you alluding to more? Right now, I feel like this arc that's happening is the arc that should have been returned to, like when they came back off of their super long break. This is the arc that delivers more Saga than it ever has. It's gotten better. I know. I love seeing Brian K. Vaughan kind of pick at the comic book industry when he says, who needs variant covers when you have Fiona Staples cover art like this? She does it in one shot and kind of leaves a ha-ha. Like, I don't remember if that was a tweet or what, but I think that's kind of fun. Like, granted, don't get me wrong, I like variant covers. I like collecting them, but I like seeing other people kind of have fun with the industry overall. And then look at, he's still $3.99 cover A only. I'm really excited. This will be the first book I read, when I get home or I read it in the car at the shop or in the shop itself. We only have what? This is issue 64. So they're going to, I think, like they ended in 54. They're doing like 108 issues. They're the first arc, then they took the break. They're just doubling that, and that's it. So we're probably 18 to 20% through this last arc. I think we got 3 more years.
Oh, good.
Yeah, it depends if they keep adding breaks. Like they've been adding breaks between issues for some reason.
This is there's a couple interesting books that are, I don't know what these are, but this Gotham Academy Maps of Mystery has this really cool like vintage cover that I like.
Yeah, it's more like a novel or the old, not really comic. But
yeah, pulp or like
a children's book, graphic novel type.
Yep. So I don't know what this is. It says Return of the Beloved World of Gotham Academy, with this one-shot collecting acclaimed Gotham Academy backup stories from Batman 119 through 121. So it's just a reprint of backup stories with the Gotham Academy gang, but it's a cool cover. This is a gorgeous Rogue cover, man. It's the A cover. It's beautiful.
Look at the way it's done, kind of negative space too.
It's with the characters on here like this, the colors, the Rogue looks great in this cover. So that's beautiful. That's the main cover. This is the cover that I saw everybody talking about, the DeCall variant, but this is garbage to me. This is garbage. I mean, Rogue looks terrible. Gambit looks terrible. Like it's a cool design.
Yeah, it looks like the mom in Goldberg's.
Yeah. It's not good, dude.
I can see the appeal, but I'm not a fan.
That's the first real failure for DeCall that I see. Well, you know what I mean?
I always think that's the man song when I hear his name.
This is Ivan Tao right here. Yeah. And this is the Marvel variant. I mean, old school Rogue. It's not bad. It's just they messed up by not just making that her on the main cover, the whole thing, and sideways. What a waste. But and then this is the
lovely strokes.
That's terrible.
Button.
What view am I supposed to take on this? Like, should it be?
They're all weird, bro. It is what it is. It is what it is. This is a really cool. I love this cover. I collect these Andy Warhol homages. There's a really good one that Sidem did with Marilyn Monroe as a zombie. There's a couple of them good, but this is a good one. This is from that series Second Coming Trinity. This is issue number 2. I checked out the first issue. I'm looking forward to seeing the second issue. So we'll see how that plays out. I love this type of story, this like superhero religious dogma style story, and they do it in comics all the time. Preacher, Hellblazer, the Sandman. I love those. Are my favorite type of comics. What was the one that they did a few years ago that was Wicked Divine? I think it was. That was so good. That was like when they have that old school like religious undertone, it just pulls me in for some reason.
Wasn't that optioned?
Wicked Divine, it was a couple times, but it never made it out of the option hell. Great freaking comic. One of the best comics ever. Next, we've got this. This is kind of cool, but they messed up because I felt like they should have done more than just homaging that one cover. It's cool how it says Neil Adams here, but this is by Tomorrow's Publishing. It's a magazine. They do amazing covers, and this is a tribute to Neil Adams. This is kind of cool. Wood, you might like this one. I know you collect those Paul Green serial covers. This is Danger Street number 6.
Yeah, I was looking at that when you were scrolling through them. That was a pretty cool cover. Plus, I love my 80s nostalgia Saturday morning cereal.
Amen. Amen. Captain Marvel has a pretty cool Brood cover. The variant, it is the Romero variant for Captain Marvel number 49. That's a cool. That's one of the few amalgam character covers that are good. The Ghost Rider by Barron's is like normal.
Ooh.
It's amazing.
I really like. He's one of my favorite newer artists.
I am buying the wrong damn books. These Ghost Rider books, every month they come up are.
Well, this is amazing, but this might be the book, bro. The Taiguchi cover, the Inhook Lee Taiguchi cover, this will sell. I guarantee it. This is AAPI Heritage Month variant, the Lee Taiguchi cover. You know, he's a Korean superhero. His other covers, where it's just him on the cover, sell like crazy, and they're great. You can pick them up cheap.
Do you remember the DC book like last month or 2 months ago that had another male character half dressed in? Thank you. It was Robin. That apparently is taken off tremendously.
Yeah, it's a $250 book. It's a 1 in 25, right?
Is that one 1 in 25 also, or no?
It doesn't say. It just says variant. So I don't think so, because it's the Asian Pacific Islanders Heritage Month. This is
Spider-Man.
It's okay. It's Rod Rice or Heiss, however you say his name. There's a couple of really good design variant covers this week with new characters. This is Spider-Man 2099 Dark Genesis number 2. You got the Blade 2099 Zombie Hunter character, which is a great character to spec on. This is the 1 in 25 handbook variant. Pretty good. And then there's two for DC. There's this one for a new comic called Spirit World. It's a 1 in 50 cardstock variant, and this is, I guess, a new character that looks interesting. So take a look at that. And then finally, Batman is doing that Joker team, you know, where Buffalo Bronco or Bronco whatever guy was on there last week. This is a new character, Locust. Or no, Tap Dance. Sorry, Tap Dance. That's kind of a cool name. So, design variant stuff. And then Spawn. The Spawn 341 Mirko Kolak variant cover B is just.
Is this going to be a
crazy
connecting cover?
I don't, even if it's not, dude, that's just a vicious cover right there, man. That is viciousness.
Yeah,
it reminds me kind of like of Sienkiewicz. So, but I know Ryan, you got a couple, and then Andy, I'm sure you're going to be looking at the Star Wars book. So,
yeah, there's something fun there.
Well, yeah. So the New Avengers, I don't know. I don't know. This is not a book. I just saw it, and I thought there might be some of those out there that might like that book. Because it's got like the Mickey Mouse situation, 100 to Disney.
Yeah.
Whatever it is. It's the New Avengers.
Where is it? Am I missing it?
Maybe it's under
T
for Avengers, or it's under the T, or up at the top for Avengers.
Maybe Avengers.
The Harambe variant for Spawn there, McClay.
Yeah, I don't see it. Why am I not seeing this?
Yeah, that's weird. I don't see it.
What was the title? New Avengers?
The New Avengers. And then, unless it's under N for new.
Weird. I didn't see an Avengers release this week, or New Avengers.
Is it the following week? Is this for May 10th?
Yeah. It says May 10th, unless I'm looking on Preview World. It might be wrong.
Ryan's saying ASM.
Yeah, it's ASM. Because they do that weird where it's
there you go.
There you go.
Yeah. There's a couple of really good Scotty Young variants for this and for Venom.
Yeah. So yeah, Scotty Young's got he's got the ASM, and he's got a for the Extreme Venomverse. There's a Scotty. You can always count on Scotty to be on something. I usually will grab. Well, I didn't even see that one yet.
Ooh,
Yeah,
there are some really cool covers on the.
That's awesome,
bro.
So,
this is the cover right here.
This is what I'm gonna try to grab everything on. So it'll be gold. That's a homage to the Spider-Man 1, right?
that's pretty freaking dope.
They redid that one, huh? Look at that.
Yeah, foil. This is a foil
That's
version.
foil.
Yeah.
Is it a?
Here's the 1 in 25.
Careful,
Rod
Ryan.
Rice.
Yeah, I'm gonna be in some situations.
They're all the covers are pretty decent. The 1 in 50 U Virgin is amazing.
Yeah,
I like that.
And that's a throwback too. There was a cover like that in the first series, in the first Venomverse. And so I think it was called.
Look at that Momoko, dude! Wow,
That's actually deep. Yeah, that's decent.
Yeah, traditional, man. When she does her traditional stuff, it is killer.
So whatever they're doing with Venom with this samurai type armor, we've waited way too long for this because that's just freaking dope
too. That's Paul Siqueira. I think that's
no Stegman.
That's Stegman.
Yeah, Stegman. He's doing all these.
It must be after because the way he did the eyes. He actually put eyes in his eyes. Yeah. You see, there's eyes in the eyes there.
Yeah.
So
that makes that. I don't know. It just kind of looks like Spawn covers now when you do that.
Well, this is an homage. So back in when they introduced the Iron Spider suit back in Civil War, he was going through a series called The Other, and any of Spider-Man books would have a other variant by Mike Wieringo, and the background had this thing in it right here, and it was the same pose, but it was all the different Spider-Man costumes. So you had, 2099, you had Iron Spider, you had the Spider Centurion suit, you had the Cosmic Spider suit, all of them, the Baghead Spider, just Peter Parker. And it was like a variant run that Wieringo did. So they're doing a homage to it where Stegman does all the different Venoms with the other background.
See, so I am going to try to get all these. I don't know which one of those are store variants or if they're all.
Wow, they're all good.
Yeah, they're all like I said, a homage. So that can you tell which ones are store variants, which ones aren't?
I think the Greg Horn one might be a store variant.
Yeah,
through Greg Horn though. So the Scon might be a store variant. Okay. This one, the Stegman might be one. The Venom, the Scotty Young might be one. This is the 1 in 25 and 1 in 50.
Okay. And so there's also a cool looking Spider-Man 2099. I don't know if that's a new character that's coming out right there. That's on the cover of this, or I haven't been in that story, so I don't know what I'm missing. But it's Spider-Man 2099. See, there's a Venom or something right there in the bottom right corner.
Well, it's Blade 2099. That's in this book. This is the new zombie hunter character.
They stopped production on Blade the movie because of the WGA strike. You have the full forward, full press on the comic book appearance of Blade 2099 though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so that's how they do things, man.
But I guess that would be just a venomized Blade then for 2099 because I'm guessing. But he's also in another. There's another 2099 where I see him again. Spider-Man 29 Dark Tin. Look, go back to the list right quick. What?
Hive releasing a shirtless Comic News Weekly host homage to the Taguchi cover this week. It's going to be
you don't want that.
Click that up the 29 real quick.
This one?
Yes, click that, and then what's the rest of them? There was like a group of them.
This is the connecting cover.
See, yeah, it's got the same character right there.
Yeah, and like a Moon Knight character right there too.
So
is that like a Silk 2099 or something?
Maybe.
But it's a venomized thing, so I don't know what's up with that.
Oh, good point.
Well, here, let's take a look. Spider Woman. That's Spider Woman. Sivren.
Same character as on the other one. So
Spider-Woman 2099, and then Moon Knight 2099. Earth 2099 is the name of the Moon Knight 2099 character, I guess. And then there's Carnage. Oh no, what am I talking about? That's on Earth 2099. It's Moon Knight, that character, and then the other one is a character named Sivern. And then there's a Ghost Rider, Kenshiro Cochran.
Whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's what I'll be working on those this week. And I didn't get to go to Free Comic Day, and I totally missed out on the free Venom cover too. So I think I might be able to grab one, but
I'll look for some for you tomorrow if my LCS still has some. I didn't go to Free Comic Book Day this weekend either. But dude, speaking of Spider-Man stuff, Ryan, if you're all set, check out Silk, McClay. Silk returns with an issue 1 tomorrow. And now, granted, I read the last time a Silk volume, and it was all right. I had some fun with it. I want to check this out again, but check out the next one down. That's a 1 in 100 Momoko, and it's not great.
No, it's bad.
But check out the cover underneath
Nakayama.
Yeah, what's she doing? Shitting in a flower?
There's the Nakayama.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Check out the one below the Momoko, though. Say that 5 times fast.
Bjorn
Right
Barons.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah. That's my cover pick of the week. That right there. Like, I'm not even a massive Silk collector, but I don't know if that's a ratio variant. I don't know if it's a store exclusive, but I'm definitely going to be looking for that. If it's store exclusive, I'm going to be sad if I don't really buy a whole lot, but
I like the 90s band Silk. Freak me, baby.
There's only, out of all these, the Nakayama 1 in 25 is okay. The Barons is good. Who is that? That's got to be a variant.
Yeah,
exclusive.
Store exclusive, right?
Yeah.
Is it? Damn. I was just kind of hoping to magically find that on the shelf at my LCS tomorrow.
You might. You never know. Dude,
I like
there's
the pirate cover is pretty cool.
This is for issue 3 that's coming out a little bit down the road. Look at this one, though.
Oh.
Yeah.
She winking at you?
Yep. Interesting. Very, very interesting.
Very interesting.
For me, Drew Manchu, brother, Silk is either an on and off switch. I either like it or I don't. I don't know why. I look for more detail. That's a cool cover.
I don't get the Momoko hate. The Momoko was the best Silk cover. No way. Are you serious? Well, I get it. Art's subjective, so don't take it like I'm talking shit. But there's something wrong with her. With this little thing throws me off, and the way her shoulders are throw me off. And like this right here with her arm hanging down the leaf throws me off. Yeah, man, I don't think that's great. It's not terrible, but it's not great.
Yeah, so I'm looking for that Silk cover at my LCS. Like you guys said, it's probably store exclusive. Other than that, there's 2 Star Wars titles out tomorrow: Darth Vader and High Republic 9.
High Republic 9 has that.
There you go, the Aja.
Yeah, but this feels like it's not done, like it's not finished or something.
That's kind of what I like about it.
Yeah,
it's kind of more like Andy Warhol, kind of a little bit more abstract-ish. Like you
like
don't
sketch cover.
You don't get a lot of comic art like this. That's almost Warhol-like. I mean, you brought up I thought it was a Beatles kind of homage at first, but like Warhol's probably not the greatest example. It's just stuck in my head at the moment. But this is a really good Kirkham cover. That's a really decent Kirkham cover. I
got to be honest, man. I'm over Kirkham.
I'm
there too.
Yep, done to death, man. It's a bummer because I was a big Tyler Kirkham fan, and there's just too much out there.
I felt it was refreshing to see something other than the Battle Pose covers.
Yes, you're correct. You are correct.
I saw that and I was like, oh, okay, yeah, this kind of reignited what I like about Kirkham's art for me.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not bad. But it still feels like an homage the way she's posed. Feels like a Spider-Man 1 homage. Like he should put After McFarlane on there for this one.
Oh, I see it. Yeah. I see it. Other than that, yeah, I'm reading Saga, reading the Star Wars issues, and then that Silk cover. Not buying a whole lot tomorrow. I'm right in my budget where I want to be. Besides doing a couple of cover buys, the Darth Vader cover. Ooh,
yeah, that's a cover for Star Trek Defiant. There's a lot of Star Trek Defiant fans out there, isn't there?
Yeah, the Vader cover A is pretty slick this week. Not like magical, but it's pretty slick, and so is the cover B. All the Star Wars books this week are all cover price, if I remember right, too. There's no ratio variance.
Well, I just got to say one thing.
Uh-oh.
Nerds! Nerds? Nerds. Nerds! What is a nerd?
That's what I got to say.
Nerds. Nerds.
Still loading. Yeah, no. High Republic, the 1 in 25 Asha. Dang it. It's $25. It's ratio. It's close.
This is a 1 in 25 Storm. I don't like it though. Yeah, it depends on hyper realistic stuff. You know what I mean? Like, depends on what it is. Brian, you got anything?
No.
He's just been sitting here for 20 minutes.
He's ready to go. He's tired, poor guy.
Nothing this week. I've slowed down on buying comics. I got too many comics. I know I'm sure you don't hear comic people say it, but I got too many comics right now.
Yeah.
I've slowed down on buying. I don't have time to read them as much as I used to, which is why I don't have a YouTube channel anymore.
Yeah.
But
yeah. Sorry, was that the wrong
and I've gone back. Not the flashy stuff. If I go, I tend to go back and buy trades now. But
there it is. Dang it, StreamYard's late. There it is. Bryan hates comics.
Yeah. I don't hate comics. I've just slowed down. I'm at that point in my life now where I'm at a pause in it, but I still enjoy the media. I still enjoy talking to you guys. But yeah. And I'm just going to shut up because that's just going to leave us with one more thing. Boogity bow!
Gotta get that on. Gotta get a sample of that.
What do you got for us, Alberto Hefe?
My one more thing this week is after taking most of last week off after Tuesday and chilling for Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, we are back with a blind CDC unboxing, a blind graded comic unboxing this Friday with a community giveaway. As long as I can figure out which damn box to open, there's like 3 or 4 of them here. We had all of those books go out the first quarter of the year. Got kind of lucky before the price increases hit. And now they're just kind of sitting here. And you guys know I got to do them blind. I just got to do that adrenaline hit to find out if we picked the right books, picked the right grades, and guessed right and see if any more books got manhandled. That's been the struggle too. Friday, 9 p.m. is what we're shooting for.
Yeah, that's a bummer, man. That's a bummer. Come hang out with us Thursday night on the Bogcast, where we'll have Dinesh Shamsadani returning, but to talk about movie making and movie making only. No comic, really not much comic stuff for the most part. We're just going to pick his brain about being in the movie industry. It's where he got his start. That's where he did the Bloodshot movie and multiple other projects. So it's gonna be a lot of fun. So come hang out with us on the Bogcast Thursday night.
Oh, that's cool. That's good. Dinesh be on there? Or
yeah.
Oh, that's cool. That was a really good interview the other night too.
It was, dude. It was really.
Still going,
it
right?
was legit.
Yeah.
It was like one of the better shows I've seen for sure.
Yeah, and I did go back that Kickstarter. I went and backed the level that has the hardcover.
Megalith or Megaloth or
yeah. It's beautiful.
Gorgeous.
Yeah, he sent me
it's gorgeous.
A couple previews.
It doesn't have Momoko stuff in it. True.
Yeah, he sent me a couple previews a while back, and it's gorgeous. I geek out over this. I mean, look how beautiful the art is on the inside. It's just gorgeous. Yeah, and this is black and white, right? The preview. But dude, look how cool that Bad Idea logo is.
That is such a good. It pops very well.
It's like kids incorporated.
Exactly.
Right.
Like you get me on signs to be able to see stuff, and it doesn't even have to be lit up, but you see that very well.
Yeah, with the black brick background, it is freaking amazing. So I was stoked about that. But that'll be Thursday night.
My one more thing is I started my series with the football card quest. I don't know if you I did put a link to the channel or to the show, which was started Monday. We haven't decided if it's going to be weekly or bi-weekly or something like that. But it started yesterday or on Monday, yeah, and we'll be going through a process of, if you're new to card selling or collecting cards or thinking about getting into it, kind of process of what it looks like to sell it from start to finish, and using different the different software and algorithms that he's put together. So he has a lot of things to help you sell your items, and so I'm going to try to put him to the test and see how in a year's time how well they worked with selling my stuff that I have around, here, all the football cards that I have. So it'll be fun, interesting. It'll be hopefully some goofiness as well along the way. We do a lot of conversation around fantasy football and stuff like that as well.
Nice. McClay, you got Chad in the chat asking when is the next blog?
Thursday night at 10 p.m. Eastern.
Or as we like to call in the comic biz, Thursday.
Yeah. That was the original name, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where it comes from.
Yeah. My one more thing, I'm going to close the show like we opened the show. Hey, remember, Sunday is Mother's Day, guys. Make sure you guys take care of your wife. Make sure you guys take care of your mother. You only get one, and, mine's no longer with us, but I do cherish her. And like I said, I don't want to bring it down, but do take care of your moms. But unless she's a total bitch to you, but
Jesus Christ.
I'm just kidding.
Then
Respect, like my mom used to always tell me, brought you into this world, I can take you out. With that being said, make sure you guys subscribe to ComicManAndy. Make sure you guys subscribe over there Beyond Wednesdays so you can get all the latest content and the podcast goodness and the ComicManAndy goodnesses. And make sure you guys also check out Rhynoverse. With that, we will see you guys next week. We're out.
hit it.
Excuse me while I change. The roller buggy has made me sweaty. Yeah, sweaty.